Alright, me babbers. Bristolian Dave here, and yes, this is my streaming setup. It's not my usual kind of phone setup for recording my normal videos, because today's not a normal video, guys. Today is something I'm trying a little bit different. So, if you're in the comics community, or the Marvel MCU community in general, you may have heard of a particular event that's happened. So we're going to dive into it, have a quick look, and we're going to try and figure out what that might mean for the future of the MCU and this character. So if you're living under a rock and you're in the comics community, you wouldn't have heard of this. So spoilers. Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, is dying in the comics. So this came out of the blue. Now it's going to happen. So it's going to happen in a book that I still get on my pull list, in the Amazing Spider-Man 26, written by Zeb Wells. Now I may do a review on it. Actually, I don't usually do comic reviews on my channel, but this might be one I can do. It's very interesting it's happening in that comic because Miss Marvel basically has nothing to do with Spider-Man. They've passed each other in the past and had a couple of missions together, but they've not really had anything to do with each other, like, personally. So, very strange decision to start with. We should probably start with who actually is Miss Marvel. So, Miss Marvel, as she currently is Kamala Khan, a Pakistani-American Muslim character, and she wasn't the original Miss Marvel. That was actually Carol Danvers. For those of you who should know, Carol Danvers is now Captain Marvel. She's not very well liked in the comics right now. She used to be when she was Miss Marvel, but not so much anymore, unfortunately. Now, this current iteration of Miss Marvel has had, what, 3 volumes of a comic, I believe, a couple of miniseries, but they've all ended up in cancellation. The first volume was actually received pretty well, and the story wasn't bad, and it did get the character a little bit. But after that, it does go downhill, unfortunately. Kamala Khan's been around since 2013. Her powers, she says the word embiggen, and she's basically like a Mr. Fantastic ripoff, where she grows her limbs, or her fists, giant, and uses that to fight and do heroic stuff. Now, obviously, being a Mr. Fantastic ripoff might lead us to what the reason is of her being changed in the MCU. Now, going back to this, so as we can see here, on the right, Ms. Marvel is in Peter Parker Spider-Man's arms. You got the Fantastic Four in the background. You have Mary Jane and her mysterious husband dude there. You have Osborn in the back as well. None of these really have anything to do with Miss Marvel again, so interesting choice. And then on the left is a comic that Marvel have put out. It's on their website now. Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel. Again, with a lot of characters she hasn't had that much to do with. This is all very strange. Seems very, very random. Now, a lot of people are angry at this. When I say a lot of people, I mean Twitter people. And we all know what Twitter people are like. I'm one of them. But I'm not crazy, I think. Now, the funniest thing about this is there are actually some people that are claiming that this is sexist, racist, misogynistic. Any word you can think of with an ist or ism on it. It's not. Just because it's a Muslim character that died doesn't make it any of these things. Because it's a woman that died doesn't make it any of these things. That's not the reason that they died. There's a comment here I've highlighted. I'll read it out. A white male American comic book writer has killed off a brown female Muslim character in a white character-centered comic book. No real good reason outside of fridged trope. He killed Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, to motivate Peter Parker Spider-Man. Right? So that last bit might be true, about him killing Miss Marvel to motivate Spider-Man. The rest is opinion, and a shit opinion at that. And with that as well, the outrage on Twitter is very funny for the fact that the amount of outrage, if all these people that were so-called outraged by this decision actually went and bought her books when she had a book, those books might not have been cancelled. Twitter people don't buy books, they don't buy comics, they don't buy movies, they don't watch TV series, they don't do anything they proclaim to support, and it just gives them a reason to signal on Twitter, unfortunately. So, what does this actually mean then for the MCU? So we know that Miss Marvel has had a series a couple of years ago. Has been a couple of years, I think. Feels like a long time. And in my opinion, the Miss Marvel in the TV series was actually better than the Miss Marvel in the comics. But she had a different power. Her power was more of a cosmic-y... I don't really know how to describe it. So she kind of wears... She's got like these bracelets. When she puts the bracelets on, it means she can do like her big fists and everything, but they're more like cosmic sort of magical entities rather than just her fists getting big. Now, a lot of people have speculated the reason for the change. Marvel obviously hasn't actually confirmed it. Some of the speculation is around, obviously, the introduction of the Fantastic Four. They don't want another person that can just make their body big like that. They've already got sort of Ant-Man, who makes himself big, you know, through pin particles. But with the introduction of Fantastic Four, obviously, he can stretch any part of his body. So why would you want another person that can do that? So they've changed up the power. The CGI on the power towards the end of the series was a bit clunky, if I'm honest. So that needs addressing. But overall, I kind of found the series kind of enjoyable. It wasn't the best, but it was entertaining. It was entertaining. So why have they, if Miss Marvel's got a series and an upcoming movie in the Marvels, in what, November, I believe? Why have they killed off Miss Marvel in the comics? I mean, we know Disney completely messed up. Disney and Marvel completely messed up with their original marketing plan for when they started the MCU with Tony Stark. You know, they killed him off in the comics, or well, at least got rid of him. And if Riri Williams was there while Tony Stark was on the big screen, made no sense. They've done it with other heroes as well. So are they just repeating that again? Or is this a bigger plan? For me, and my guess, personally, I think what they're doing, because this is Marvel, and no one truly stays dead in Marvel Comics, aside from people like Uncle Ben, because there's actual reason for their death. I believe that they're resetting Kamala Khan in the comics to align her powers more with the powers that we see on the screen on Disney Plus in the TV series. They're gonna do it so that she aligns more with that, as well as obviously they hinted to her being a mutant in the series with the introduction of the X-Men. So they are basically trying to wrap everything together so that it's actually in sync. I also have another theory. My other theory is related to the Spider-Verse Across the Spider-Verse series, whatever the title is called now. So the second film. Now, in the second film, I believe they're going to be trying to get Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy to be a thing. They're going to do it in the comics as well, I think. Miss Marvel Kamala Khan has kind of been in the way of that in the comics. So in order to do that in the comics, they've got rid of Kamala Khan for a couple of months. They get those two characters together. That then transfers to the movie. And you've got some kind of synergy-ish. Or as much synergy as MCU has with the comics for quite a while. Just a couple of theories I've got there. But that's what I personally think is going to happen there. So that's my theory for them killing Miss Marvel and how it'll affect the MCU. Do let me know in the comments, guys, what you think the reason is for Miss Marvel's death. whatever it is, it's fine. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the Miss Marvel TV series, and also let me know if you think this will affect the MCU in any way, or if you've got any other ideas that I haven't just listed. Is two a list? Two's a list. It is now anyway. So make sure, guys, if you haven't already, because I did forget to say at the start of the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, dingle that bell, always leave a comment, and if this one does well enough, I might do some more videos like this. If you want to hear some Bristolian Dave views on current pop culture and media, let me know. All right. I'll leave you there. I'll say cheers, me babbers, and I will see you next time.